ArtTheKid, and today's video is a little bit different. Today we're having a nice summertime cozy couch talk chat thing. I don't know. I don't usually do videos like this. Typically my videos are solely for the purpose of entertainment or keeping memories, cons and stuff. But I thought this was important to talk about, and I thought it would be a good way to kind of get back into making YouTube videos because it's been a while. So go ahead and grab yourself a nice hydrating drink. It's very hot here in Washington, especially. We've got a heat wave, so I've got my little vitamin water. Let's just talk and catch up. Half of this video is going to be kind of a life update on my end, and then the other half we're going to be talking about self-care. Not so much just like put a face mask on and grab yourself some chocolate, you deserve it, treat yourself kind of self-care, although that's very important too, but a deeper sense of self-care that we're going to get into later. So, as you are all very much aware, 2020 was pretty crazy for everyone. So a lot has changed and it affected every aspect of all of our lives. So as you can imagine, things changed pretty drastically. In 2020, I moved twice. I moved from my house with my family into an apartment, and then to a second apartment, which is this apartment that I'm currently sitting in. So there's a lot of moving going on, so that was half the reason why I wasn't posting or doing anything. It was a lot moving twice within the span of just a few months, honestly. I think it was only like a 4-month difference, I want to say. So there's that. And on top of that, I got engaged. Me and my girlfriend, or fiance now, took a vacation on May 14th to Cannon Beach, and she proposed to me in cosplay on the beach while we were taking cosplay photos. So that was very exciting. I definitely kind of took some time offline to focus on that, celebrating with my friends. It was very special. And then for the last thing to kind of update you guys on, since October of 2020, I had been working 2 jobs. And it really was just a lot. I was working 2 part-time jobs, full-time hours. I worked 6 days a week, open to close, whether that was opening at one store and closing at another, or opening and closing at one store. It was a lot. It was a lot. It took a lot out of me. I went from having 3 days off a week to 2 days off a week, and then since February I've been working 6 days a week, basically consistently. It got to a point where having more than 1 day off was rare, and that is the biggest reason why I've been so not present online, and it's also the main point of this video, honestly. So I've been working 2 jobs for a couple months, and it really just kind of killed me. It killed my inspiration, it killed my motivation. It really heavily affected my mental and physical health. There was one point I ended up going to the ER because of all the stress I was going through. I'm fine, by the way. Everything's fine. It was just a lot. Some people work 2 to 3 jobs all the time their whole lives, and people who do that to take care of themselves and their families truly are seriously warriors, because 2 jobs takes a lot out of you. Aside from just not having any time to do anything that I wanted, not having time or energy to get into Decora, not having time or energy to get into cosplay, not having time or energy to go anywhere, because when on my 1 day off, I'm so exhausted that I didn't want to do anything. I'm the type of person that I'm always tired anyway because I have insomnia and I'm just kind of generally a low energy person. But I was exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally. I was so tired every single day. I could hardly keep awake, and it was hard to do anything on my days off. This was just kind of one of those things where I was just going through the motions. I was working and sleeping and working and sleeping. Occasionally I ate, but I was going through the motions. It was just like, basically my life felt like that one meme with the dog sitting in the fire and he's like, this is fine, it's fine, everything's fine, but it's not fine. That's how I was feeling, but I didn't realize it was not fine. I was literally just sitting there in my fire being like, yep, this is fine. And then I went on vacation. We went on vacation with my girlfriend. I got proposed to, I got engaged, and it was amazing and wonderful and eye-opening and refreshing. I have lots of pictures to show. My fiance made a video that she should be uploading soon if you want to check that out too. It was so wonderful, and then when I got back and kind of dove back into those motions, that wave that I had been following, it was like the second half of that meme where I realized, oh, everything's not fine. And it was just kind of shocking, honestly, because when you dive headfirst back into the waves, the motions that you're used to, and you realize it's not okay because you finally had a moment of happiness since the beginning of 2020, yikes. That was basically the mood. So when I got back and I realized, oh, I was just used to it, but I wasn't truly happy or satisfied with what was happening, because when I got back, I really started to notice that, oh, during my vacation, my physical health got better. And then the moment I went back to working 2 jobs and stressing out every day, my physical health declined, along with my mental health. I was constantly anxious, and I was constantly really angry and irritated at the smallest things, and I hated that because I'm really not an angry person. It's very hard to upset me, and literally just hearing someone walk would make me want to snap, because it was just, I had this mental thought of why can nothing go right in my life, as if it's that person who's walking's fault for being too loud, and that's not how that works. It was irrational, and it was very upsetting to feel that angry all the time. And then I kind of had this moment where I realized what was happening, because it wasn't just me being upsetty about going to work, it was a lot more than that. And I found a term for it, and it's what we're talking about today. It's called burnout. So I had a misunderstanding of what burnout meant. I only saw burnout being used when it came to like YouTubers and content creators, so I associated it basically with an artist block. And that's not what it is, I came to find out. I understood it as just not being inspired to do work anymore. And I get artist block all the time from drawing and sewing. Sometimes you just don't feel it that day. But as I looked more into it, and I realized that burnout and their symptoms applied to what was happening in my life. And I have my notes here. So burnout is defined as being exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually as a result of prolonged stress or frustration. So that pretty much defined what was going on with my life. It made a lot of sense. And I finally realized that it wasn't just artist block, and it applied to anyone who was experiencing a lot of stress and frustration in their life. And on that note, we're going to kind of shift from just my life update to talking about self-care. So some of the signs and symptoms of burnout include, but are not limited to, physical symptoms like headaches and stomach aches and generally just feeling crappy. Emotional exhaustion, feeling constantly tired, feeling anxious, feeling really upset, and feeling angry all the time. Activities and things that used to feel really easy and things that were kind of your expertise suddenly becoming really hard and difficult, and the things that used to make you happy not clicking anymore. These are all signs of burnout, and they apply to basically anything, whether that's work or creating or literally anything, honestly. Could apply to cosplay even, could apply to wearing J fashion. You can get burnt out on anything. And for me, I was getting burnt out on work, working 2 jobs 6 days a week and not having any time to eat or sleep properly, because those were already issues for me and they got worse. So when I realized I was having burnout and it was really affecting me so heavily, I made a very big decision, which was to quit both jobs. I got a job somewhere else that I'm working at now, and I put in my 2 weeks for those 2 jobs. I left there last week. This is my first week only having 1 job. I am on my second of 4 days off for the first time in about a year, and it's been really life-changing. My physical health immediately got better. I immediately stopped having so much issues, and I immediately stopped feeling less anxious and upset and angry all the time. And on that note, let's talk about you. Self-care is caring for yourself. And it can be as small as giving yourself chocolate when you're having a bad day, and it can be as big as making a life-changing decision that you desperately need. It was really hard to convince myself that it was okay to change jobs. I had literally never quit a job before that, because one of the jobs that I was working at was my first job I ever got. And the second job I got was my second job I ever got. That wasn't a seasonal job. So the change and the confrontation of quitting jobs was very hard, and I had a hard time making decisions and making myself do it, even though it was what I needed, but I did it. And it was scary, and I'm so glad I did it. And I know that it's hard sometimes to convince yourself that you are worthy of even a piece of chocolate, so convincing yourself that you're worthy of making big life decisions that will be better for you is extremely hard. But as someone who just made a big life decision that was really scary and hard, I encourage you, if there is something that you've been thinking about doing and you just haven't been able to, do it. Seriously, do it. Because you deserve it. You deserve to make change that's better for you, even if it's extremely hard. You deserve to feel happy. And if that means that you need a lot of change in your life, even if it's scary and hard, I implore you to at least try it. And obviously, I don't think anyone should go rushing into any big decisions without having anything prepared, because as much as I wanted to just quit 2 jobs and then just figure out another job later, that wasn't a smart decision, so I didn't do that. I found another job that was offering something I needed. And once I secured that job, I let the other jobs go. I completed my 2 weeks, and it was a perfect, smooth transition. Of course, when you're in the last 2 weeks, all you want to do is just not show up, because you just want to, it's like summer vacation is a week away. You don't want to deal with the last week of homework. You just want to stop. But I'm very grateful that I did decide to take the time to finish my 2 weeks, because I got to leave on good terms, feel good and accomplished, finish up everything I needed to, and just do it all seamlessly. I was going through the motions for a long time of just, well, it sucks, but it'll be fine. Sometimes you don't have to settle for fine, especially when it comes to your career. You should really reach for more and for better, especially now with everything going on. You shouldn't stay at jobs that treat you horribly, that make you uncomfortable, that don't stand up for you. You deserve good things, and I deserve good things, even though that's hard to remind myself sometimes. It is so important, especially in a time like this where everything's changing, that we change, and we change in a way we want to. We make the change that we want instead of just waiting to be shoved somewhere else, you know? Yeah, I feel good about getting that off my chest, honestly. I don't usually do these kinds of videos, but I like watching these kinds of videos. They make me feel happy and grounded, so I hope that this kind of did the same thing for you, that it could give you something, maybe just a moment of peace, just a moment to kind of listen and think and sip. I do feel really good getting that off my chest, because I think it's really important, and I just went through a lot of change in my life. So yeah, find what works for you, whatever it is. For me, I found that tarot helps a lot. It helped me with a lot of really big, scary decisions. And, you know, a lot of people may not understand that, but it works for me, so that's all that matters. And I do it because it makes me happy, and it keeps me grounded, and it gives me balance. If there's anything you take away from this video, I hope it's these couple of things. Be your best self. Be kind to others, because you don't know what they're going through. Make the change you want to see in the world. Do good things for yourself because you deserve it. And be your most authentic self. Self-expression is so important. As someone who lives in a world of pastels, I really can't stress this enough. I feel my happiest and my best when I'm surrounded by things I love. So thank you guys for coming to my little summertime chat, my life update, my little self-care talk. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you take care of yourself, and I hope you have a wonderful, safe summer. Bye!